I know right now, frantically, you're searching for the best way to win her back. And after she asks for space, you're not sure what space means. You're not sure if she's trying to see other people, if she's using space as an excuse, or she's just trying to find herself. All you know is that you two are meant to be together. You're looking back at all these past memories and thinking to yourself, doesn't she want that? Didn't she say forever to me? What's going on? I completely understand where you're at right now. So this video is gonna do a couple things for you. The first thing it's gonna do for you, it's gonna help you understand what space actually means. Because if you don't know what it actually means when she asks for space, you'll do the wrong thing at the wrong time, only guaranteeing that not only will you lose any opportunity of getting her back, but she's gonna go to someone else. And I don't want that to happen to you, okay? The second thing I'm gonna do is show you the biggest mistake that I see consistently, not just with people, guys I work with in my decade experience as a licensed therapist, helping men win the woman they love back, but also I see so many popular videos on this topic giving wrong advice. And I think the reason why that is because those experts out there are only using their own personal stories or examples, right? Or they read a couple books and articles and say, oh, this is the best way. But after working with literally thousands of men over the past 10 years, I'd be an idiot if I didn't see the exact patterns and things to do to give you the best opportunity to win her back. So that's what you're gonna get today. So strap in and make sure you stay at the very end of the video because this is also like a blueprint for you, okay? I'm gonna give you 3 powerful steps you must do after getting rid of that mistake, okay? To give you the best action that you can take starting today. Because look, man, if you don't do this successfully, I can only guarantee that you will lose her. Okay, so let's jump in. Now, why did she ask for space? Look, there's plenty of reasons between different men out there, situations that I've seen, but let's talk about the core truth around all these differences, why she really left you. And it's best to have this first principles thinking, which basically means you're looking at the core root of it all. Okay, imagine this tree and all these branches are all the individual reasons why women leave men. Like, oh, you know, we had differences in like, oh, he was too needy, or like the sex wasn't good, or he didn't get along with my friends, or we had financial difficulties, or religion, or whatever the case may be. At the core of it, let's look at the first principles idea, which is a man will leave a woman because you stopped meeting the needs she has in a relationship. And I know for a lot of guys that hurts the ego, okay? But your ego, the way you view yourself, is why she's leaving you. And if you can't accept that idea, I get it, but you're not ready to win her back. But if you are a man that is broken down, which is a good thing, because when you're broken down, you can build yourself back up. But if you're broken down right now, you're open, right? You are open to new ideas. This idea is that she left you because you stopped meeting certain needs. You relaxed oftentimes, you became needy, you put her needs first, trying to be a good boyfriend, husband, father, whatever the case may be, okay? And that's why she rejected you. Because the man you once were when she fell in love with you, the man you once were no longer exists. You've sacrificed parts of yourself. I mean, you could pause the video and think of this is an exercise I do with my clients. Think of all the things that you've done over the years with her where you put her needs ahead of your own, okay? Where you sacrifice maybe speaking up in conflict, where you let her make decisions. Where when she had a problem or some emotions that were really troubling to her, you're trying to just solve her emotions, fix her emotions. These are all things, I have whole videos on these topics and how to fix them, but these are just like an entry point into why she really left you. And if you want the loving relationship with her that you once had, but even better, you have to accept that the man you were is the reason why she's leaving you. Now, this was really hard for me to grasp, right? The reason I went to this whole entire field of helping men do this as a licensed therapist, now I coach thousands of men every single year to win their wives back, is because I felt this myself, right? The woman I was with that I wanted to marry back in college, right? She left me for another guy. And I was like, I thought I had everything that she wanted, right? Everything on paper. We had all these commonalities, blah, 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 blah. But she left me. And after she left me in that dark moment where I was just like panicking every single night, like, is she leaving me for some other guy? What's wrong with me? All this stuff. It allowed me to search within myself, right? And this is when I went to grad school and figured all this stuff out. And one of the core tenets, that first principles perspective, is that I wasn't making her feel safe. I wasn't being that masculine leader, that confident guy she fell in love with, right? And you have to accept that first before we move on to the next thing. Because the biggest mistake that most men will make during this process is that they'll try to use logical reasons to get her back. Now, what does this look like? A logical way to try to get her back is by saying, like, what about all these memories, man? What about when you said this thing? You said that we would be in love forever. You said you wanted to marry me. You even said that we would work through our problems if we had any. This is a problem, we can work through it. And this is completely, for lack of a better term, divorcing yourself from the truth about female nature, okay? That when it comes to women asking for space, right, she's gonna respond to her emotions. And the man you become, the man you've been, isn't making her feel safe. She's not feeling attracted. And whether you accept that or not, that is the truth. Okay, and you have to start there. Because right now, if you're using logic like the memories, or you guys have kids together, or all the promises she made, or what's best for her, or this other guy that she's going to is like, oh, he's scum, or whatever the case may be, you're thinking through a logical perspective. And women, the decision to be with the person they are with romantically, that is a completely emotional decision. It is just a feeling they get that they have to act on, hardwired from thousands of years of evolution. So any forcing of using logic, right? And by the way, this subtly shows up, the way this subtly shows up is I've had examples, and I did this myself, but like, oh, look at this song we have. Remember this song we used to have? I just randomly found this song we used to have. It's like, you search for the song and sent it to her. Oh, look at this photo I found of us. Hey, remember that trip we did to Cancun? We had the best time of our life, and like, you looked at me in the eyes and said how much you love me. Remember that? You're trying to bring back those memories. She feels that forcefulness, that neediness, that logic, right? And it makes logical sense that, oh, if I just bring her back to these memories and make her think of a time that we fell in love together, she'll remember. I hear so many other coaches saying that, and it is so needy, low value, and it honestly makes me feel disgusted. Let's just say, for example, it did work, and you come to her, and you find an excuse to see her, and she agrees to see you, okay? And you sit down with her, and you talk about a memory, and you guys have make-up sex. Even if she gets to the point of like going from confused to wanting to be with you, you haven't changed. You think you're gonna do the work when she's there and you're feeling like safe with her again? No, you're gonna go back to your old ways, okay? So circle back here to summarize this point. Stop using logic and force. Stop trying to bring up all these memories. Stop trying to fix the problems when she's moving away from you, right? That's closing in on the space, and that's causing her to feel needy. I use this in another video, but this is like an extremely powerful magnet. Watch. And it's like the opposite effect. If you were to push, it's just like pushing her away. Instead, you have to learn how to be an attractive force to her to bring her into you. And I'll tell you how to do that in a second. Look, I'm not gonna bullshit you, right? I'm gonna give you the truth. And if this isn't something you wanna hear, you'll come back to my videos later. The first thing you have to do is pause. Because acting through the neediness, the panic that you're in right now, the anxiety, there's nothing you can actually do when you're feeling that way that will actually work. She's intuitive as hell. And so no matter what you do in that scenario, no matter what excuse or clever thing you do to get her to see you or talk to you, she will sense that it's coming from that place of insecurity. So because of that, before I tell you the masculine attraction thing with the magnet, the first thing you have to do is pause, is to learn to be okay without her for at least a decent amount of time. For most men, this can be just a couple of weeks. But you have to also recognize that when you are just in panic and anxiety, imagine like there's this like, let's say she hates the color yellow, right? She's like, oh, yellow is repulsive to her. But this is the way you feel, like your emotion is this on the inside, right? So no matter what you do, that color, she's gonna sense it. Whether it's like these beautiful magic words that some other video told you to say, or some techniques or some text to send her, she senses where it comes from the source, right, of that yellowness, okay? You have to change your frequency, you change your tune to be okay without her. And the only way you could do that is to actually be without her. Stop texting her, stop reaching out, stop finding excuses. If she texts you and reaches out to you, yes, you can engage, but she will sense whenever you are trying to get her back, okay? Okay, so after you take a certain amount of space, the next step you're gonna do is take an inventory. And we already talked about the man you are, the person you are, right? That's what she left, okay? Because you couldn't meet certain needs. This is not attacking your character, by the way. You can change your behavior. You can change the way you interact, the way you feel emotions, the way you express emotions, okay? It's not really like who you are that's unchangeable, right? I'm a prime example of this, so is every other guy I've saved their marriage, okay? But the next thing you have to do before you make that change is take an inventory. And this is such a simple but powerful exercise. You're gonna ask why she left you, okay? You're gonna come up with an answer to that question. You're gonna ask why again, why again, why again, until you get 5 whys, okay? You'll also ask what needs did you not meet for her? How did you show up in the beginning of the relationship that you no longer show up now? Asking yourself these types of questions allows you to see the forest within the trees, right? When you're so mired in your panic, in your anxiety, that you just can't see clearly, you can't honestly see why she's leaving you, because all you're doing is panicking to get her back. You're just like, oh, you're grasping at straws, I just need her back. Pausing allows you to like take inventory, right? And then you go into why things happened. Once you get that insight, you won't repeat the same mistakes, ideally, because you learn from them, right? You can and will grow, but if you don't do this, you won't grow. And whether it's with her giving you an opportunity because she misses you, or some other woman down the road, you'll repeat the same thing. I've seen it too many times for it not to happen. Okay, the third and final thing you're gonna do is to create that attraction toward her. Now, I have a whole playlist dedicated to understanding female psychology, high status behaviors, and a bunch of testimonials of guys. All those videos on the channel are very, very powerful to give you value on how to do this. But let me just teach you on a core fundamental level what you probably stopped doing. You see, most men I work with, myself included, during that past relationship and multiple relationships, mind you, is there's this idea that like an addict, when they have their drug of choice for the first time, it's like their mouth was parched their whole entire life. And then that's the first time they know actually what it feels like to drink water. And I don't know if it's going to be that extreme an example with your wife or girlfriend, but a lot of times what happens is that you lack this like healthy love early on in childhood, and she was the first person to make you feel that bliss, right? That connection, that like, oh my gosh, like this is what it feels to like feel connected to someone. And there's an over dependence on that. And oftentimes what I'll see is that a lot of guys from their childhood, they'll either be overly needy or overly logical, divorcing themselves from their emotions, okay? It's all a fear-based response, and you create an attachment onto her. Now, at the core root of it, what you're doing, that allows you to set these proper boundaries, to take lead, to be dominant, right? To have fun with her, to pursue your purpose, like all those things that a high value man does, it all stems from his ability to want his wife or girlfriend but not need her, right? That is that attractive magnet. The man that is able to walk into any room and he's exuding value, right? He needs nothing from no one, right? And this isn't like an apathetic not wanting, like, oh, I'm better than everyone else, screw everyone else. No, it's just like, I love other people. I love other people so freaking much, but I love myself first. And because I love myself so much, like I love connecting, I love sharing myself. If someone disapproves of an opinion or a value or belief I have, that's okay. I go in towards conflict, right? And it all stems from this guy's ability to just completely be indifferent to other people's opinions about him. And the thing is that when your wife or girlfriend, when she gave you that feeling of love and connection, you became obsessed with it, right? And you sacrificed parts of yourself. You were giving yourself away, right? And you lost your polarity, your masculinity, what drew her in the first place. I can't count how many times I hear a guy, when I first speak to him when he comes in the program, and he tells me, you know, in different shades of gray, that like, oh, he was captain of the football team, or he was in the military, or he was like just on top of his game, right? And that's what drew her in. But you know, gained some weight, took care of the kids, like my needs come second. She's gonna love me no matter what, right? I wish it was like that. I wish life was a fairy tale, you know, that love was unconditional, but that's not the way it works. And the men that I see that truly win their wives and girlfriends back, they accept the idea that they have to constantly be a better man and that they want to be a better man. And this is not an easy process to go through, but it is worth the journey. And if she's worth it, if she's worth fighting for, what you can do right now is set up a call with our team down below. Now on that call, you're gonna click the link, fill out the application, and if you're fully committed to winning her back, and you're ready to invest in yourself emotionally, completely, and potentially financially, if we accept you into our program, then we will give you the skills and the tools that we have at our repertoire. But whether you do it through us or some other coach, I implore you to do something different, or you're gonna get the same results. And that's the definition of insanity. I know she's worth fighting for because you're still listening to my words right now, right? Okay, cool. Well, thank you for watching the video. Smash like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.